Hi, it's Rob from the Brush and Boltgun. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to paint simple marble. If you'd like to support the channel, my Ko-fi and Patreon page are linked below. Now on to the video. So this is the kind of effect we're going to be going for. I'm going to be doing this white marble kind of effect all over this base. And here we have the steps. They are just painted with Vallejo White. So if you're using a white undercoat for the stonework that you're going to be painting like this, then the white undercoat will work fine. And all we're going to do first is add a layer of Citadel contrast Apothecary white to the stairs. Now it doesn't matter if it's uneven, and it doesn't matter if you get sort of deeper patches where it's darker grey and lighter patches where it's lighter grey, because marble has those inconsistencies all the way through it. So just put on that contrast, let that dry, and then once it's dried, we'll be able to move on to the next layer. So now that we've put these in, we're going to use some Vallejo German Grey. If you're using Citadel, Eschin Grey will work just as well. Also, you can do a few different shades with this, so you could use Eschin Grey, Mechanicus Standard Grey. Trying to think what the lighter grey is. Dawnstone, you'll be able to use Dawnstone on it as well. I'm just going to use one little paint here, the German Grey, maybe a few little tiny thin lines of black as well. And all you want to be doing is putting these lines in. Now, what you find when you're looking at that kind of striped marble is that the lines that are going through aren't always straight. They aren't always consistent thickness all the way through. They aren't always consistent colour all the way through. Sometimes they look like cracks, other times like slices. So you are able to go to town and really do whatever kind of shapes you want to do. And if your brush accidentally splays because you're dragging it sideways rather than straight down, then you will get that slightly thicker line, but that might look fine anyway when you're doing that. If not, you can use the white a little bit later on to cover that over. So what we're doing here is we're continuing with all of these little lines, remembering to do them down the front of the steps as well. And this is, as I say, a simple method of doing that kind of streaked marble effect. If you can hear any purring sounds, that's because I've got a cat on my lap who keeps standing up and purring in my face right next to the microphone. Here I am using an Army Painter Insane Detail brush. We just transferred over and we're using a little tiny bit of Vallejo Black there. We're just adding a few more lines of that, in different directions and different styles. So once you've got those lines down, we're going to return to Vallejo White, or whichever white you tend to use. And all you're doing is you're putting this roughly into the gaps between the lines. Now when I say you're putting it roughly, you're not making sure it's even. It doesn't matter if it's not even, it doesn't matter if it's thicker in some areas, thinner in other areas. You don't want it lumpy, but you do want to have that inconsistency that you get with marble. So when you're painting this on, if you paint one layer and it's leaving a bit of grey in one area, and then you paint two layers in another area so you get that brighter white, then that is fine. And try and work it so that you get those kind of different shades of grey from the contrast, so that they spread in different areas of each paving slab or each step. And the idea is by doing that you are giving that inconsistent and slightly off-white or discoloured look to the white marble steps. One thing I will be doing with this base once finished, as it is the Triumph of St Katherine Sisters of Battle base, and what I'll be doing is there's areas on each of the steps where it's worn down. I'll be using matte varnish in those areas and then gloss varnish on the rest of the steps to give those a nice shine. So the worn areas will be duller than the smooth polished areas, as you'd expect. Also going to be playing around with doing some black marble, so if you'd like to see black marble on there too, then sing out, and I may be able to get one of them done too. If you do find looking at them that you think the cracks and the discolorations are slightly too thick or slightly too bold, you can use shades or contrasts as well and build those up and use them to do slightly thinner or slightly more translucent lines. So you're just going to carry on adding the white in between all these little cracks, in some places crossing over them if you want to, until you're happy with how that marble is looking. And this is the kind of finished effect. It's not 100% perfect, but as I say, it is a simple method of painting marble, so it's ideal for your tabletop miniatures. I'm happy with how that turned out. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. Also, think about subscribing to some of our other social media, linked below. Thanks very much. If you like the channel and you enjoy the content and you'd like to support us, the Ko-fi and Patreon pages are linked below. Thanks very much.